Hi everybody, MJ here. Yeah, I'm outside my house. In the backyard. I want to say hi to everyone on Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube. Alright. Now my glasses are all fogging up. I'm going to take this off. I've never been out here live streaming before. I'm talking kind of quiet. My next door neighbor's dog sometimes gets a little anxious if people are outside here, but I got a little charcoal fire down here, you know, and I got one of my camping lights up here. I have a light on in front, otherwise it's really dark on my face. See if I don't have that on there. So, but my house is near the road, and I'll just show you. Come on. This is what it looks like directly behind me. And I don't have my gimbal. This is just my tripod. But down there is my little tiny charcoal fire. And what that's doing is that's keeping the mosquitoes away. And that plastic bag is my my charcoal. So if you look here, like that's the big street. And you guys have seen me walk down here before, and you see me like sit over there at that bench and stuff. So, hey Jeff, how you doing? Well, I don't know how nice it is. Taiwan backyards aren't actually known for being all that nice, but it's a nice night. We finally have the weather's clearing up. My wife in Phoenix and I. Nice to have you with us on Periscope or Twitter Live. Jeff, thanks for joining. My wife in Phoenix, our daughter and I went to a big grassy field on Monday night to try to see the meteors. We only saw I guess the funny thing is you got 3 people looking and nobody sees the same ones. I guess between us all we saw about 7. Yeah, well there you go. Oh, okay, I know what you mean. We don't we own this house here, and this piece of land right here, as you know, like between the it's funny because you buy a plot, you buy a house, and unless you buy a specific plot of land, like 5 centimeters or 6 centimeters past the wall of the house, that's all you got. If you look back here, I don't know if you can see if there's enough light, but if you look back here, there's kind of a see this wall, this grate. That's where my property ends, and that's the house. And there isn't even enough room to like stand between those two, so. But where I'm sitting on is technically government land, and you saw on the back camera, the power transformers and stuff there. So yeah, it's kind of a standing rule though in Taiwan. Whoever lives in the first floor gets the yard, but who lives on the roof, on the top floor, gets the roof. And I used to love the roof. Lived in a number of places where we had a tall roof. Here in our house is 4 stories, so the roof is on the 5th floor. And boy, it's nice. And we also have a 4th floor balcony too. But I usually go up there. I mean, not usually, but a lot of times I go up there if I'm not in the studio. I have a studio on the 4th floor. I just didn't want to go up there. I wanted to light this little fire because what it does, it keeps the mosquitoes away. And a little bit of fire burning is always nice. And I got some sticks and stuff over here that if I wanted to, I could just grab them. Throw them over there, so. But you hear this traffic tonight, right by this main road. Anyway, today's news, pretty good. We, as usual, the first number on the left is the number of local cases. So we have today, Ely, 1 case. And then on the right, going to the right, the first number, the first 5 is the cases that are imported, outside cases. On the far right is deaths. We had 5 deaths reported today. That's always troublesome. even with the Jimbao system here, a lot of Taiwanese are not in actually that good of health because they smoke a lot. So, yeah, 5 deaths. Now it says at the bottom, it says that it's hard to read. Let me blow this up here. I think it says, okay, it says Xinbei City. That the one on the bottom means that the only case was in New Taipei City. So we had 1 case today. So that's really good. You know, we're kind of celebrating. That's 1 local transmission reported today. There is, however, a company that has reported that they have a local cluster, but I got to tell you, these guys here in Taiwan are really handling business. They're really taking care of things, and I got to tell you, personally, I wouldn't want to be living anywhere else right now. That's for sure, or anywhere else anyway. I've been here 17 years. So Jeff in Wanhua, wow, I haven't been up there in a long time. What's going on up in there? If you're still with us, I have no idea because the reporting, you know, how many viewers I have on different platforms doesn't always function the way that it should. I want to show you something. You guys know I got this carport here. This is an ongoing thing with me. I don't know what it was about this past week, but I had 3 different cars just block my space, and it's insane. And the reasoning that people use is just, I mean, I end up asking them, are you really like that stupid? So let me show you what happened. I went out, you know, I have a van. It's my space. It's on the side of the house. It's kind of like a niche. You'll see it in a second. I'm going to show you some video. And I always put a chain up. Now, right beside my parking space is a red line. You're not allowed to park there. It's illegal. You see red lines, and you're not supposed to park there. But people park in Taiwan on red lines all the time, especially in these neighborhoods. They expect that the cops won't come in these neighborhoods and do anything. But in the middle of the day, you know, I don't know what they're expecting. Maybe they're expecting that I'm down in Jubei or Hsinchu City and I'm at work and I'm not coming home. So, lips are dry. So anyway, I'm going to show you what happened. I'm going to show you the car that parked, and I'm going to give you a running commentary. Now let's see. Okay, this is it right here. So you see this car is coming in, and I want to make sure the sound is off because I don't want to, yeah, I'm just going to talk over it. Okay, so one lady gets out of the car, and there's a driver in the car, and she's looking around, and she's saying, oh, is this place okay? Is this place okay? Oh, I don't know. And then she notices ahead. Yeah, just pull up there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's a red line. Yeah, just go ahead. Except for one thing. That's my parking space to the right. You see the chain? Yeah, I put the chain there to keep them. If I hadn't had that chain, they would park in my space. And then I'd never get them out because it's not illegal to park in somebody else's space. It's only illegal to park, you know, on a red line. So I don't know why this lady took so long, but I had to go like to the next video to see her get out of the car. It's 2 women, and she eventually gets out of the car, and her car door smacks the chain. So it's not like she didn't see it, and anybody with any sense would understand, oh, you know, this must be a parking space. But it gets better. It gets way better. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this one. It gets way better. So I came home, and that car was there. So I just backed my van up to it so they couldn't get out. See? Now I'll start the video in a second. So I back my van up, and they can't get out, and I'm sitting in the van with my windows open. And so the two ladies came up, you'll see them, one on either side of the car, and they start to speak Chinese to me, and then they see that, you know, I'm a quote-unquote foreigner. And then they try their English, and I just know this is going to be good. So I let them have it, and it wasn't in English. Okay, so this is it. So here's what happened. I'll tell you what happened. So, anyway, I'm using Line. I'm in the process of telling my friend. I'm on my phone and I'm looking down. This is great because I can pretend like I didn't see him. So they come around the corner, and the lady on the yellow, she goes up to the window and she starts with oh boy, and then she goes, excuse me, can you, and I said, I'm sorry. They want me to move my car. And I said, I'm sorry, there's nowhere for me to go. It's a red line. And she says, well, can you just pull out of the way? And I said, well, I want to park my car in my space, but a couple of inconsiderate people have blocked me from getting in my space. And she said, oh, that's us. She actually said that. I said some inconsiderate people blocked my space. And she said, oh, that's us. And I said, oh, that's you, huh? And so, hey, Anti, how you doing? Oh, you're going to love this. Yeah, I got another parking drama. So I'm just playing with them, basically. I'm just playing with them to see what, you know, to see where their head's at, you know. And I said, that's my space. And she goes, that's your space? And I said, well, if it's not my space, whose space is it? It goes with the house. And so anyway, I just want to show them one thing. So I'm not mad or anything, you know, I'm not yelling and I'm not threatening them. I just get out of the van and I walk over and I'm pointing at the camera. I said, see, there's a security camera. See, I want you to see there's a security camera. Now I tell them, I saw you guys come, and I say, when you opened your door, you actually hit my chain. So what's the chain for? This is a parking space. And now watch this. She actually says to me, I saw the no parking sign. You see that she pointed, but I didn't think it was for outside. And I said, it's a red line. And she starts this apologizing stuff, and watch me. I just finally said to her, I said, I said, I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. I don't want to hear anymore. And I got in my car. And they're looking at me because nobody's ever talked to them like this before. Nobody's ever confronted them. And she's in the car, and she's given me this more, paise stuff. And I just went, quiet in. Zola. And I told them, get out of here. Go. And so finally, they get the message, go. And so finally, they get out, they get in their car, and they're going to leave. But I actually said to the woman, you know, how can you be so dumb? And see, look, she hit the chain. See that? Look, she probably damaged the paint. So, I don't know. I'm always asking myself, is it me? Nope. So I pulled out of the way, which I thought was a reasonable amount of space. And she seems to be kind of not doing too good, so I pulled up even more. And anyway, that's enough of that. So another day in the life of MJ in the industrial park here in Hukou, far, far away from any major metropolis, far from Taipei, far from Taiwan. You better believe it. So, Anti, how you doing? Fist bump to you. I'm just hanging out in the backyard, man. And let me do this. Yeah, I got my camping light up. See, it's hard to see, but oops, there's a tree over here, and I got this big bright camping light up there. But down here, I got my little charcoal fire. Yeah, and that's oops. It's kind of, This, I don't have my gimbal. I just have my tripod. That's keeping the mosquitoes away. So, all right. Let me pull this in a little bit tighter. I'm trying not to talk too loud here. I got my lounge chair. So finally, the weather finally cleared up again, and it looks like it's a really nice night, and the moon is, past first quarter. It's looking beautiful. I love the moon. I may go up on the roof later and see if there are some meteorites, because we're coming off the tail end of the Perseus, but we're going into another one. We're going into another group of meteors. Ken Rock, this bump to you. Well, that's okay. You're allowed to interrupt me. Come on, man. So what'd you think? What'd you think of that story? That was pretty. I mean, there's a lot of videos on YouTube, kind of like if it wasn't filmed, nobody would believe it. One of those. But it's like I don't know how. I mean, they're off to the side, right? And then she says, "Oh, just park up there." Yeah. Oh, it's a red line. Doesn't matter. It's somebody's space. So just park up there. Yeah. And they were there for like 45 minutes. Over here is a realty company. And they always got people over here. They got customers and they got workers that park over here. And I've gone over there and told them a bunch of times, tell your people not to park here. It's like, you're blocking my space. I own it. It's my space. I don't get it. One guy even called the cops on me. Said that I was parked illegally in my own space. This is, vindictive crap. Stupid. But anyway, we're all happy today because we had one case of COVID-19, one local case. But I mean, look at my face. I am very not happy, and I was actually angry today because you guys know me, and I've been, introducing different kinds of liquor and alcohol and food and stuff, for decades with my blog and everything else. And I went back to Costco today, and one of the things that was at the top of my list, I had two things I wanted to get. I wanted to get the Caribbean spiced rum, and I wanted to get a nice pack of steaks. I was going to grill them on charcoal. It's a nice big fat, ribeye steak. I was going to spend a lot of money on it. I didn't care. That's what I want. So I went and I looked around, and the rum is gone. So I asked one of the guys who works there, so what's going on? He said, it's sold out. Okay. But I went up to the service desk where they have the computer. And fortunately, I had a picture of it from the last time I was there, and I had the barcode and everything. Had an earthquake just now. And, the number and everything. And they looked it up in the computer, and in English, it said marked for deletion. And I almost went Billy Jack. I'm like, this is the second time in 6 years. The second time you guys have had the Caribbean rum here, and you've canceled it. What's going on? What makes me mad is that they got Bacardi White. Bacardi is colorless, odorless. It also happens to be flavorless. It's a white rum that I would use as a cleaner, I would use it as a coolant, and I would use it to start my fire, but I would not dare put it in a drink. Bacardi White is a drink that you do not build. It's an alcohol for which, if you want to make a cocktail, you do not build the cocktail around the flavor of the alcohol like you do in other cocktails. Like the Kirkland Spice Rum is so good, you can drink it straight on the rocks or with soda water. It's all you need. The flavor is astounding. You know, with Bacardi, you simply add it to a drink to make the drink alcoholic. You might as well just take some of that, you know, hand cleaner spray and spray it in there. It's about the same thing. They got that. They got like 6 different kinds of vodka. They've got tequila. Hello, this is Taiwan. Who is drinking tequila? There's not even in Mexican restaurants here. Who's drinking this stuff? And why are they selling it? And you know, but the Caribbean spiced rum, a dark, beautiful aged rum. It's not just Captain Morgan, which only has vanilla in it. Oh. This stuff was. If you guys got a chance to try it, if you still have in the States, send me some, will you? Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, so really. Yep, that's what happens. But here in Taiwan, right, our guys, you know, they're wearing masks, right? Every one of them. See the president wearing masks? Now that guy over to the right, he's not wearing a mask because when you do sign language, you have to mouth phonetics. But he's in a separate booth. He's completely shielded from everybody else. But yeah, I mean, this is what happens. So unfortunately, you know, I got mine right here. I'm outside. I am drinking water, but if somebody comes up, I'm putting it on, and I've got my anti-collapsing net here, you know, because it's hot and the mask is a little bit wet. One local case today, guys. One. It's a big debate, and I don't know why it's such a big debate. I love personal freedoms. However, I understand that, you know, there's nothing political about wearing a mask. And I don't know why people have to politicize everything. But it's only certain areas of the world where they politicize things like that. Because in Asia, I mean, when I went back to the States in 2018, I wore a mask. People were looking at me. Do you think I care? Look at me. Do you think I care what other people think about me? So that's the thing. I don't. I heard a noise. Thought maybe Albert was coming outside. So yeah, that was the thing. So I was upset about the Caribbean rum, and then I went to buy a steak. So I go over to the steaks, and it says USDA beef, American beef, 1 unit per cart. Now that's regardless of the kind of beef. I was looking at these like about this thick, heavily marbled ribeye steaks, you know. My wife wanted to get ground beef. So we got ground beef. I did not get a steak. I did not get my spiced rum. I didn't even want, I was so just, I didn't want to go in my studio and even like, I'm working on a couple new mixes of some famous songs, you know, and I didn't even want to do it. I got like at least 4 Queen songs, all in progress. Just didn't even want to do it. It's not that I need rum, not that I need steak, but you know, I mean, these are simple little things, and I don't ask for a whole lot. You know how it is. You go to the store and you go, hey, you know, because if they didn't have one and they still got the other, that's okay. But the other thing too about Costco is in the front, there's a whole section that's missing of food. It looks like we're getting ready to hit some serious food shortages. So you guys take note, you know, Luke chapter 21 and Matthew chapter 24 are coming true before our eyes. All right, so it's a pretty nice night. Let me just check something here. Okay, now for those of you in the line group, in the late night line group, you're welcome to send me some photos because I can grab them right now and show them immediately. So if you got something that you'd like to share and talk about online, send me a photo. And if you'd like to join our live streaming technology forum, that's an actual forum site. You know, it's a HTTPS. It's live streaming, and the domain is technology. Livestreaming.technology. And many of your favorite live streamers are there, and more are joining us every day, and it's a good place to ask questions, get involved, and it's not just for live streamers, you know, it's for content creators and viewers too. You know, if you want to ask questions, or because like every time I post a video on YouTube, it goes here, so you can watch it there. You don't even have to leave the site. You can comment on it. You can make, you can post replies, ask questions, do whatever you want. So it's a pretty nice forum. It's a small forum. It hasn't been around that long. It's pretty new, and we're just getting it going. There's another forum too that we're getting going, and it is in response to all of the it's in response to all of the censorship that's been going on, and it's called the Pandemic Community. That's the name of it. And so the Pandemic Community is actually found at, let me put this over here, it's actually found at thepandemic.community. That's the domain. Here, I'll tell you what, I should just put it up here. That makes it easier to see. That's the domain, the Pandemic Community, and that is a no censorship site where you can, you know, tell your story about what happened, COVID-19. I mean, the propaganda just is open, like it's just crazy. You log onto YouTube and everything's about for the latest COVID-19 information, but it's not. It's the latest information that they want you to hear, the latest narrative, you know. And they were wrong about pretty much everything. They're wrong about the lab leak hypothesis, you know. They're wrong about almost all of it. So, but nobody's going to come back and say, "Oh, we're sorry." Nobody's going to apologize for that. Nobody's going to say, "Oh, we were wrong about that." You know, your YouTube account is still deleted. Your Twitter account is still deleted. Nobody comes back and apologizes and reinstates you. You know, that's wrong, man. So the pandemic community is very small. It's hard for people to find. But if you're searching, you know, for a forum that you can talk about treatments or your experiences or anything. But not just about COVID, because there have been so many, and there are going to be more pandemics before we're all through with this, okay? Because you know what? Bird flu season's coming. Yep. The only downside about living in Taiwan is its proximity to China, where all this stuff comes from. So, yep. Anyway, so there's one guy on the pandemic community. He calls himself COVID-19 survivor, and wow. He talked about, you know, what happened and the battle. He's suffering from long COVID, and he's having cognitive problems and stuff. And man, you read this and like, wow. And you know, there is a certain element in society that doesn't want you to hear this. So anyway, these are forums that I own, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing you can't do on the pandemic community is hassle other people. You can't push political narratives. You can't push treatments on people. It's not an anti-vax site. It's not a pro-vax site. It's neutral on everything. That's what you have to be. It has to be a neutral platform. And people are entitled to their opinions, and they're entitled to express their opinions. They're not entitled to force their opinion on anybody else. And that really is the problem with most things that people complain about today, is that people don't seem to be content with just doing their own thing. They want you to do it too, or they want you to embrace it, or they want you to accept it. And you know, their requirement of acceptance is ridiculous. Like, why? This is like a little girl saying, you know, I want everybody to like me. Well, that's not going to happen. And there's going to be some people that just don't like you, so you need to move on. And that whole acceptance thing is just, you know, we could talk about that for hours, but now we talk about all kinds of stuff. So if you're on the Line group and you want to send me a photo, I'll go ahead and post it now, but I don't really have much of anything else in the way of photos for right now. This pumpkin, take care, man. Yeah, for you, it's about work time. Yeah, wow. My weather, my watch tells me the weather's going to be clear tomorrow. This is great. I have the Xiaomi 6, and boy, it's got like it's just got this incredible watch face on it. It has everything on it, man. It's got like weather and sunrise, sunset, humidity, UV, wind, daytime, nighttime temperature, current temperature, you know, date, day. Just, I love this thing. But one of the things that does bother me is all these touchscreen devices are sensitive. They're capacitive as opposed to resistive, how they used to be maybe 20 years ago, because I had a Sharp Zaris, and I had actually a couple of different kinds of what they used to call PDAs, right? Personal digital assistant, and they were resistive, and you used a stylus. Well, on vacation this week, hey man, that's cool. That's cool. You need you a cinnamon coffee. You know what you need, Ken? I got it for you. I got it for you right here, bro. You need a cinnamon coffee with coconut milk over ice. That's what you need. How does that sound, man? You know what? It's 23:55. It's 5 minutes before midnight. Sounds like I should go make one of those. I'll be up all night, but hey, I could get a lot of work done. Yeah, coconut milk, cinnamon coffee. You almost put some rum in that too, man. Put some rum in that thing. But with all these touchscreens, right? Like I wear technical shirts. Right now I just got a cotton t-shirt on, but most of the time I'm wearing a technical kind of shirt, you know, like a bush shirt, fishing shirt or something like that, hiking. And it, you know, wicks. Like right now you see the sweat. That's just like, okay, this is not wicking. The shirt wicks sweat, and it, you know, and even my undershirts are technical. Like this is a technical undershirt, and so the shirt kind of gets evenly, lightly moist, because you know you'll sweat, and then it wicks. It goes out because it's trying to, you know, it's trying to evaporate, and you get evaporative cooling. It's really nice, but the result is that the shirt has a little bit of it's a little bit damp just about everywhere, so it really is. Staycation, well, you know, get a chance to spend time with a wife too, and that reminds me, and I keep forgetting to ask you, man, I'm sorry, but how's your wife doing? Is everything cool? I mean, is she, you know, how's her recovery going? Everything cool? And really haven't had a chance to talk to you about it too much. I feel bad about that. Let me see, we got 3 or 4 things going at once here. So, but what happens is the sleeve of my shirt is a little bit moist from the moisture in my arm, and one of the technical shirts that I have, the sleeves are not, you know, they're not cut off flat. There's a point on it because it's supposed to like try to cover your hand a little bit, and so there's always a flap covering my watch, and my watch thinks I'm touching it. and it does goofy stuff. I mean, I'll be driving along and all of a sudden my phone will start ringing because my watch is pressing the, find device button, or it's pressing the mute button, like, do not disturb, and it's doing, goofy stuff because my shirt sleeve's going like this, it's touching it everywhere, and it thinks it's on. It's set an alarm, and what else did it do? I looked at it the other day. It turned the brightness down to almost nothing. It's going like this to try to see it. To so dark I couldn't even find the control to put the brightness back up. I mean, that's just. So one of the things that they actually lack is a sensitivity control. I mean, the watch should, through software, detect these stupid touches. So, well, that's good. Good days, rough days. Yeah, I understand. But you guys got a good attitude. And the first thing you said was she's doing okay, and you said still improving. So that's good, man. Well, the whole group, we love you guys. We'll keep praying for you guys. So. You don't have to worry about anything more than today, Tomorrow has its own problems, its own, anxiety, its own issues. So just got to make it through today. All right. Let's see what we got here. You guys follow Ken Rod.
Hi everybody, you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein on Taiwan Live TV.
Yeah, that's Ken Rod. Here's our good friend Dave.
Hi, this is Dave in Osaka, live from Greenland, and you're watching Taiwan Live TV with MJ Klein.
Oh yeah. And let's hear from our good pal George from JTS.
Hi, this is George from Taiwan, JTS. You are watching the Late Night with MJ Klein.
All right, now I got to tell you something. George told me, was it yesterday, that the launch of their new mic, is it the H66, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, anyway, it just started, and they got the specs and everything's, they got a nice brochure. It's all in Chinese, but it's a really nice brochure. So that thing's gonna go on sale pretty soon, and eventually, see, the problem is there are worldwide shortages of materials and things like, getting just like raw castings and getting chips, getting things like switches and this stuff. It's just ridiculous. And so they are so far behind in production. It's terrible. The revenue that's has been lost, but still in business. They've been in business about 40 years. They're not going anywhere. Just suffering a hit. But when we get to the point now where we can get back into production, all these things are going to be readily available, and we're going to have a discount code for all of them. So, but pretty soon, I'm going to be, going down to Taichung to their studio. And doing some promotional videos for them. They need to be done. They need to be done in English. So I'm going to do the English voiceover work for them. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really going to enjoy that. It's been a long time since I've done that kind of stuff. I've never been much of a on-camera guy. I've done tons of radio. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at doing. But it is such a nice night, and it's cooling down. It's just after midnight here. It's 2 minutes after midnight in northwestern central Taiwan, and we had one local case one local transmission of COVID-19 today, 5 imported cases, and that's such a relief. It took them 3 months. 3 months ago, we had anywhere between 500 to 700 cases a day. I mean, we're watching TV and gasping, because for us, that's a lot, you know. We've always had it under control. So, the good news is, Taiwan's first vaccine has been released. It's a company called Medigen, and it is a recombinant spike protein subunit type vaccine. It is a traditional vaccine. It apparently has a wider spectrum of sampled DNA, and it should be more effective for a broader range of variants. And for me, the number one attribute is that it is not a messenger RNA vaccine. And so that's the one I'm going to get when it becomes available. Because we can't get ivermectin here. I asked, believe me, I tried. And if anyone has tried to buy ivermectin online, these companies should be ashamed of themselves. There are Canadian companies that are selling ivermectin for between $5 and $10 US per dose. Do you know how much ivermectin costs? A kilogram of the element itself is about $135 US. Ivermectin is one of the cheapest medicines known. And a prophylactic dose against many diseases and parasites is literally pennies. And you know, if they were doing that with water or something else that was considered to be essential, these people would be sued into oblivion for price gouging. But because it's just old ivermectin. I mean, no wonder people are going to Tractor Supply, or they're taking, you know, the tube of, you know, Force anti-parasitic and like toothpaste, and just, you know. A friend of mine from Peru told me that's what they did in his village, and they eliminated the breakout. They all have ivermectin for their horses. They just started taking it. So yeah, we've had it good here in Taiwan. Had a good run, you know, with a diligent commander of the Central Epidemic Command Center, and they implemented, you know, level 3. Now we're down to level 2. They're going to open up a little bit more now, but they're taking it slow. But they had all these procedures in place from 2003, you know, from the SARS outbreak, and you know, all the bird flu and everything that's happened ever since. This isn't our first coronavirus. We've had, you know, many. And so they've done a really good job keeping it under control, and a large number of people are getting Moderna and AstraZeneca vaccines, and I'm not in favor of those. You guys know me, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I get vaccinated every year for flu. I've had hepatitis here, hepatitis vaccine here, and others too, you know. So, and my daughter too. I just don't like the idea of certain types of technologies, especially the untested ones. So I was willing to wait, because where I live, there's no danger. I've not been exposed to it. I'm not in any danger. So I weighed the risks, and to me, it wasn't worth it. If I was living in a place with a horrific outbreak, it might have been a different situation. But yeah, these things are all personal decisions, and there are far too many judgments going on, you know, and people telling others what to do. So I don't tell other people what to do. I just tell people what I'm going to do. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't tell people what I'm going to do, because they're not owed an explanation. And that's the other thing. When people ask you these questions, sometimes you just got to say, well, it's none of your business. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to turn off these lights. I got my little fire going. And with that, I'm going to say good night. I'm going to turn off these lights and just sit here so I keep the mosquitoes away. Got a couple of little small twigs here, not really logs. I'm going to put them on there and see if I can get a little light, a little more smoke, and have a little campfire. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you so much.